has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on a bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible, hanging out. The bad city, we're getting a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion check-it up should do, along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, and the golf guru himself, Carver High, this afternoon, ladies. Mafia is running it with Luke Hada and his Johnnies moving up to number 6 and winning on Saturday the Garden outright the Big East title. How about them apples? The rundown, we got a double shot with Morency from British Columbia this very hour. And Coach James Young in the second hour, our basketball analyst, talking rack. And it's going to be very exciting. Speaking of rack, Carver High on Saturday, on top of the St. John's win at the Garden, they didn't cover against the Hall. I'll say that much for them. The ones that stood out to me, to be honest with you, is once again A&M losing. Everybody thought they were going to show up down in Gainesville, and they got whacked by 19. And then Vandy, in overtime beating Missouri, I thought was huge. The Tennessee 3 at the buzzer, the bomb logo shot that went down in Knoxville. And I thought Texas Tech winning in Lawrence, it's put people in a very feisty mood in Lawrence, Kansas. They're not happy with the Rock, Jock, Jayhawks. And then they got a huge game tonight, and Self wrote some letter to the fans, like, calm down, all this other stuff. Those games kind of stood out to me on Saturday, at least.
Yeah, it certainly did. Happy Monday here on Coast to Coast, and I'm with you. The Self letter was, you don't see that very often after games, but I guess he feels like the fans just aren't being reasonable enough with restless. The team's performance. They're restless. I saw the one kid on the team got a whole bunch of nasty DMs on social media that he was not very liked there in the Lawrence area. So, I mean, look, you can't win the national title every year. I mean, some years this is going to happen, but it's not allowed, Scotty. In
what a shame.
College athletics. You can't. You got to be at the top every year or you're chopped. You're finished. You're out. That's just the way it goes. They got a tough one tonight, going down there to Houston to see the Cougs. So we will discuss that later. It's been a rough year for Kansas. What a shame it has been for them. And the one good thing about the Tennessee thing is that you still covered if you had Alabama, like I did. So you still
true.
covered.
That's a very nice cover. What was it, 4.5?
4.5 before, right before the game, about an hour before the game got to 4.5. So we were all right there, despite the loss by Alabama outright. And you even said on Friday that number, I thought the same. That was way too heavy for St. John's. I know we thought St. John's was going to win the game, but
I hit Hall
20 plus points in that game. That was just a little too much for me. So final week of the regular season, we're going to be done with this next Monday when we get here. We will have all the brackets for the heavy conferences, Big East, Big Ten, SEC, for their conference tournaments, which is always a lot of fun. And this week, we will have the mid-majors. I mean, I got the A-Sun coming at you tonight. You get into all the other Summit, the West Coast, everybody. It's on this week with all these mid-major conference tournaments, NEC games. Bobby Moe's the one seed on the horizon. Starting this week. So we have, I love this week because I don't even want those last couple games that are big conference regular season. That's nonsense. These small conference tournaments, mid-major conference tournaments are where we all sit around like we're in on all these teams all year. And now It counts for these teams to try to make the big dance.
Yeah. And then, Thursday the 20th, it starts. You can talk about Selection Sunday all you want. That'll give you who's playing who and who made it, who got snubbed. But that Thursday, the 20th, it's on and it happens. And then that Thursday, Friday, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd through Sunday is the best 4 days in sports. It really is. It's just the greatest thing ever. It always is fantastic. And I think nothing equals it at all. At all. Like I've told you this 1,000 times. I think the Stanley Cup first round and the NCAA Thursday to Sunday to open the tournament is actually, for me, I think it's better than the rest of the tournament. I think the tournament gradually, goes downhill from there. And then, you get 4 heavies in the Final Four, typically. And it's, at the end of the road, it's, same old. But it's the beginning that's so great, the first couple of days.
Like, because you go from, Thursday at noon, you have 64 teams left after you get through those games on Tuesday and Wednesday night. And then by Sunday night at midnight, you got 16 left. That's a tight span where you go from 64 to 16. That's a lot of games to get through to cut yourself down.
I didn't even mention the Tuesday, Wednesday Dayton, as if that matters. But those are great games, too. There's a doubleheader both days, right?
But and those games, we talk about these bubble teams here over the next week. That Tuesday and Wednesday night, we might see teams like Indiana, Arkansas.
Right.
Some of these heavy teams could be playing in those games.
Well, Indiana got it done in Seattle.
Yes.
They had to beat Washington, and they, really belly to belly, they got it done. That's a bad team. They beat them. Now, tomorrow night they play in Eugene, which I think they're going to have problems. Again, Friday, I told you that Oregon was going to win on Saturday, and they rolled by 20-something. They mean business. They're a really good team. Dana's got a hell of a team, and I don't really, frankly, I'll keel over if Indiana wins that game tomorrow night in Eugene. I don't think it's happening. So for my money, Indiana's berth will come down to, I believe, 2 things. One, how are they going to play against the Ducks? If they're in the game and they make it a game, let's say the game's under 7 points, and then they go beat Ohio State in Bloomington in their final game, having all those wins, at the Breslin, at home against Purdue. I don't care where you beat Purdue. That's a quad 1 win. And then to go to Seattle and win. And then if they can beat Ohio State, they will have, they've won 3 in a row, 4 of 5. Let's say they lose, that's 4 of 6. Let's say they win, that's 5 of the last 7 games they won. These are the things that the tournament committee looks at. When did you win? It's not, you won 2 months ago, but you can't win a game in the last 3 weeks, in the last 2 weeks, in the last week. I think that there's a lot of bearing and weight on the last few games. And I think that Indiana's proven that they're, you look at Jerry Palm, Lenardi, they both have them in the tournament.
They both have them in the tournament. It's going to be a fun week. A lot to do there. So lots of college rack today. We got lots of NBA today. Of course, the Lakers stay hot. The Cavs,
beat them
a couple
twice.
Big wins for them. Beat the Clippers twice, Friday night and last night. The Cavs came back and beat Boston Friday night, then had an overtime win yesterday with Mitchell sitting and everybody on the bench. So the Cavs have been on fire. We'll go through all the NBA. We have lots of NFL stuff. T. Higgins officially tagged. He's going to get his $26 million if he doesn't get extended or traded from Cincinnati. I've got TGL going on right now. The 2 best teams in the TGL, LA and the Bay Club, with a little afternoon session. We got a day and a night at the TGL
Is that
today.
on the deuce right now?
It's on the deuce. It's on the deuce. So TGL's on the deuce. We've got hockey. We've got a lot to do.
Everybody loves hockey
here throughout the day. So very busy Monday.
Yeah, there was a fight in the NBA. It got a little heated on Sunday. And, the Cavs, 10 in a row, they mean business as well. They just keep winning. And there's all kinds of great games going on tonight, too.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks versus the top three teams in the league. Oklahoma City, Boston, Cleveland, 0-7. And you take out the 110-104 loss to Cleveland at home in October, and they've lost by double digits every game. The Knicks will make the playoffs. Number one, do they fix their defensive problems? And two, are they actually healthy?
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. You know, they can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid. The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage every night at 10 Eastern along all of our TV and radio outlets with Gabe Morency. You can catch him on Coast to Coast every day from British Columbia. We got him right now. So on Saturday at the Shoe in Columbus, the over hit. They had 8 goals in that game. Columbus won, and there were 95,000 people at a hockey game. That's crazy.
Yeah, hockey really is on a roll right now, isn't it? Following the Four Nations. You know, a lot of these outdoor games are kind of done. You know, I mean, the first time it was like a really, really big deal. In the first couple of years, every city was desperately wanting to host an outdoor game. And now, you really find out the day that they're playing. Oh, they're playing outside today, right? Or the day before. But this was a cool concept. And it really could have backfired if you think about it, Scott. I mean, let's be real. The Columbus Blue Jackets were not supposed to be good. Like, they were supposed to be, honestly, the Blue Jackets are one of the best stories in sports. They were supposed to be, they had the second lowest odds, I should say, like point total. They don't do win total in the NHL. They do point total. Only the San Jose Sharks had a lower point total than the Columbus Blue Jackets coming into this year. So to put that in perspective, right, they were expected to be the worst or the second worst team in the National Hockey League. And the NHL isn't like the NFL. You don't go from first to worst. Like the NFL, basically 17 of the last 18 years, a team has gone from like worst to first in the NFL or made the playoff teams. You can be terrible in the NFL one year and be in the playoffs the following year, right? And you could have the number one pick in the draft, 2 years later, and you can be back in the playoffs 4 years later. The NHL, it doesn't work that way. The NHL is really, once you're bad in the NHL, it's really hard to get out of it. And the fact that the Jackets have done this so quickly and surprisingly, great story, getting 94, close to 95,000 people for a hockey game, unbelievable. It was a nice touch that it was, the Michigan-Ohio thing that they had going on with it.
Yeah, no doubt. And, we had that Seth Jones on the show last week where he was talking about how bad, like you're talking about, it gets when you're on a lousy team. And he was talking about playing for the Blackhawks, right? And he was like, take a good look.
Imagine that, Scott?
Did you ever see that interview he did? He's like, we never got any better from last year, this year. Nothing.
I saw that as a shot at Bedard. I saw that as a shot at Bedard a little bit, in which he said, I haven't seen any progress in 2 years here. He's like, we're not getting any better.
Right.
He goes, we're not better on the ice. We're not better coaching-wise. We're not better.
But he got lucky. He got out of there.
Well, what's amazing is that he says that, and he ends up getting traded to the Florida Panthers.
That's what we said would happen, that he'd get traded for opening his mouth.
Well, he wanted to. That was the point, right? Like,
right.
That was, him behind the scenes letting him know I want out. And it's like, you guys don't seem to understand this, so I'm going to go public with this now.
Right.
I'm going to go public and say that we suck and that I want out. And that's exactly what he did.
I mean, it was crazy. So, let me ask you.
He ends up on the best team.
He ends up on the best team, but they lose Matthew Tkachuk for the rest of the regular season with the groin. Do you think he'll be effective when they say he'll be back for the playoffs, which is all that matters?
Hey, listen, this guy, he's like the Terminator. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could set him on fire and, the metal will regrow. I'm never underestimating. Yeah, I'm never underestimating. He keeps on coming for you. I'm never underestimating a Tkachuk, especially Matthew Tkachuk. But I'm not going to say it's a positive because now they play games, Scott, with that injury list thing, and they have $10 million suddenly to spend. So, we'll see what they do. They bring in Seth Jones. At the same point in time, I got to believe that all the hockey that they're playing is going to catch up to them, bro. We saw the same thing with the Los Angeles Kings over the years, guys. The Kings won a couple of cups. They went to multiple, long playoff series. And look how they age, man. The Jeff Carters, the Mike Richards, the Drew Dowdys, the Jonathan Quicks. They're not that old, but they look old. And, the same thing happened with the Chicago Blackhawks. Remember? With Taves. Look, Taves got worn out. He had to stop playing. He's like, man, I can't do this. Kane's not the same. He's done. Seabrook, Duncan Keith. It wore them out fast, Scott. It's the downside of winning. It adds on multiple seasons to your career. Like, guys on back.
Do you think
play
Kane
longer.
is done in Detroit, that he hasn't been effective?
Well, I'm not saying done, but he's lasted. Look, he's like the only one that's still left because he's a smaller dude that buzzed around.
He's
you know what I'm
still pretty
saying?
Good.
Yeah, I know, but he can because he can skate, right? And, he's not a physical player, but look at everybody else on that team. Like, they're done.
Right.
They're gone. You know what I mean? They're
There's
worn
no
out.
doubt. There's no doubt. They're all gone.
So I'm just saying the Panthers, 2 straight Stanley Cup finals, Scott. That's a lot of hockey, bro. And now you throw in the Four Nations. Now you throw in another deep run. It caught up to Vegas last year. You can see Vegas and played a lot of hockey. And it's like, yeah, these guys, they're kind of tired.
So do you think it'll catch up to the Oilers?
Yeah, I think the Oilers, that window won't be there forever. Like football, like the Buffalo Bills or the Steelers, whatever, Scott, it ain't a physical thing. It's like, we'll be back next year. You got to win or lose. Hockey, it adds up. Like the Oilers, that window will not be there forever. You're going to get worn out, and there's up-and-coming teams.
Do you think that they can win it this year, the Oilers? Because they're really good, and but the thought of them running out of gas is prevalent.
Yeah, I'm not going to write them off now, Scott. I think there's a little bit of a Four Nations panic, so to speak. They are struggling out of the break. No one's going to dispute it. They're going to be in the playoffs, right? We're literally like 43 days away from the end of the regular season still. It's a lot of hockey, Scott. So I can't dismiss anybody or overly hype anybody, although I kind of am falling into the trap. If you had to ask me right now who wins the Eastern Conference, I'll tell you it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I like the Lightning tonight against the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, they've been winning all these games, and they've been shutting teams out, 3-0, this, that. They've looked really good, particularly when they're in Amalie. I think the Oilers, for my money, out of the Four Nations, they had so many road games that it kind of was just a lousy road trip. I think they'll be fine once they get back to Rogers.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks versus the top three teams in the league. Oklahoma City, Boston, Cleveland, 0-7. And you take out the 110-104 loss to Cleveland at home in October, and they've lost by double digits every game. The Knicks will make the playoffs. Number one, do they fix their defensive problems? And two, are they actually healthy?
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. You know, they can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid. The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We've talked about it a lot, Carver High and I, about the TGL and how cool it is and how the players love it. It's like they're really into it and they're more entertaining. They're having more fun. When they're on the real tour, they're, laser focused and serious. And on this thing, they're, having a blast. But I think they're like trying to figure it out. They figure out everything on a golf course. They find a way to figure it out. On this, it's different. The simulator golf, it's insane watching them try to figure it out and to succeed and to hit these shots and to win. And like you said to me in the break, I mean, it's getting, we said the same thing, more popular than the tour stops. Like, this is more fun to watch. The crowd, everybody's drinking, everybody's high-fiving, having fun, their teammates instead of going against each other. What do you think of it all?
No, you know what? And I like golf. I bet on golf, but I'm not a diehard. And I watched the TGL in week 1, and I predicted right away. I said, this is going to be popular. This is going to be good. I liked it. I like betting on it. It's compact. It's within 2 hours. As you stated, they almost found like the perfect mix of, those dumb, the dumb celebrity games, and they're all yucking up in the golf cart and stuff. It's funny for about 2 minutes. And it's like, all right, guys, like, what are we doing here? This sucks. Yeah. This is actually good. They're talking smack, but they're having fun. They're taking it seriously. They want to win, right? And the simulator, like, even the golfers are amazed by it. They're like, like, they actually feel it. I saw Justin Thomas play, and he came back to the group. He goes, I've never hit a better shot in my life, guys. And he high-fived them. Like, he smoked his drive, and he was like, man, that was a nice shot. Like, they were really, really, like, they're into it. You had the fun stuff with Tiger when he goes, I thought he said 109, not 99, and he smoked it, like, over the simulator. It's just fun stuff. My only complaint is just I got to pay better attention. They start at different times all the time. It drives me crazy, Scott, especially as a betting man. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's going to be on every Monday night. And then it's like, oh, you're on Monday nights, Tuesday nights. Now you're on Monday afternoon. You start at 6. You start at 7. You start all over the place. So that's a little bit tricky. But listen, once the Masters shows up and, the real tournaments start, not just the majors, and the players. But everybody complains, Scott, about the NBA often, and they just do it without even watching. The NBA is having a great run right now as well over the last month or a couple of weeks or so. But the PGA, bro, these guys never play. You want to talk about load management? They never play, right? They play the TGL more than they play on the tour. Like, I don't know.
You mean the amount of tournaments that these guys enter that they show up for?
Yeah, I'm saying like Morikawa, Scheffler, Schauffele, like the top players rarely play, bro. They didn't play this week, right? Oh, because there's a more important tournament, the Honda or whatever, the Arnold Palmer this week. So we're not going to play this week. You didn't play last week. Oh, well, I was in Mexico. We don't want to go to Mexico. We're not going to Punta Cana or wherever the hell. Oh, no. A couple of weeks before, the Genesis. Well, I'm not going to play here at Torrey Pines because we're playing at Torrey Pines again
2 weeks ago.
Bingo. So basically, for 4 of the last tournaments, you guys found reasons in 3 of them not to play. And that's why where I'm going with this is the ratings, bro. You know, there's more people watching you and me right now. Like they had like 220,000 people watch like their tournament a couple of weeks ago. They're getting like a quarter. It's like live numbers almost on the PGA now, but it is on the Golf Network, so it's not, you know, as mainstream. And I know once it's back with Jim Nantz and all this, the ratings go up. But my whole point is, yeah, the TGL is actually getting higher numbers. They're checking in at like nearly 1 million people watching a game.
Do you think that it hurts that new guys are winning on tour that people haven't heard of?
I think they're all just personality-less. There's no star players. Scheffler's an awesome player, but
he's like a stick in the mud.
He's a boring dude. You know, that's called off what it is. He's a boring dude. Yeah, you can walk past him in Walmart. I wouldn't know who he is. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless he had a hat on saying Scotty Scheffler, I'd be like, all right.
You
know what I mean? Like,
he
there's no
doesn't have any
personality.
kind of juice, no personality.
Yeah, and the guys with personality all went to live. Like DeChambeau and Koepka, guys that actually stirred the pot and got people talking about a tournament during the week.
They should just merge them and let them all play wherever they want.
I thought they did, Scott, and now they still aren't together, right? Like, and that's the only other thing. Golfers are always complaining. It's like, oh, we're not happy with this and that. It's like, you know what? I don't care.
Morency said he didn't want to talk about the Michigan Wolverines today after their performance at Chrysler on Sunday.
That was bad.
Let's talk golf.
Now we turn them all over.
Brady Tkachuk saying that if his brother did miss that overtime period against Canada like we saw him do, it must be serious out there. And of course, Brady Tkachuk, not a doctor, but you've got to wonder the status of Matthew Tkachuk and what we're going to find out.
Game time for all of these teams and all these players that were, teammates. Now they're facing off against each other. Now they're back to being teammates, whatever it might be. Like, it's time to get things rolling back in the right direction.
HL today, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
certainly had a nice double dip at the crypt on Friday and Sunday against the Clippers. And in that second game that they won both. The Clippers played Kawhi like, massive minutes. They obviously didn't like losing to the Lakers.
They obviously did not like losing to the Lakers. And last night, it was weird too. Like when we were here Friday afternoon, you remember where that line was? It was Clippers were like 4.5-point favorite early in the day. I guess they thought either Luka and or LeBron wasn't going to play. And the same thing happened yesterday afternoon. I was looking at the line early in the day. And it was like Clippers -3.5, Clippers -2.5. And then it just kept going down. Kawhi played 40 minutes last night, and he had 33 points, but it wasn't enough. 108-102. Lakers get the win. And once again, the more games they play together, Scotty, the more chemistry developing between Luka and LeBron on Spectrum Sportsnet LA.
Leonard 3. Leonard no. Rebound Hayes. Long lead. Luka, LeBron James.
That is
yet another touchdown.
That's a pretty pass by Luka.
I mean, he does it every game now. He finds him on that stretch pass. Full court pass to him in motion, flying and finishing. It's ridiculous. And like you said, the more they play, the better they get. Now they've moved up in the standings. They're hot. They're winning every game they play. And yet they're dogs every time they play at home. I just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre, those numbers. But they both ended up playing both nights, and they played well. Same thing for J.J. Redick. I actually have a couple for him. First of all, it's a few games with those guys building chemistry. It's also a few games now where Redick knows what to do on the court, what to call, etc. He says, good luck trying to figure us out with Luka out there.
Nature of playing with Luka Doncic, and we knew this when we traded for him. And again, this is why you always have to be adaptable as a coach. The nature of playing with Luka Doncic is if you play drop coverage against him, you're going to die. So teams are going to red or they're going to blitz. We have to be better, and we're going to figure that out. It helps when you can play all shooting lineups. I'm not concerned about that.
It's like, and even without Reeves last night, like your boy Connect, what he hit? He hit like 5 threes last night. Connect was on fire.
I still can't figure out for the life of me why they would have wanted to get rid of that kid. I know they needed a 5, fair enough, but I'm not a fan of really dangling talent like that. That kid is a flat out scorer, baller. I love his physicality, his upper body. I think he's, he can take some hits and still connect. No pun intended. I mean, the guy can hit from anywhere, even if he's fouled. He's strong, and he's young, and he can really ball. And I was surprised when they, frankly, included him. Like, I thought it would have been someone like Vincent or, Hayes or anybody to get a big, but the star young player who can flat out shoot. Like, look, no Reeves. Now he's injured. And what do? You put this kid in, and what does he do? He fills it up. If you give him burn, he'll score.
The Lakers are on a 6-game winning streak now. That has moved them up to the 2 seed in the West.
That's crazy.
Redick isn't really concerned about stuff like that, though. He just wants to be in the playoffs. That's all he cares about.
I want to make the playoffs. I don't want to be in the play-in. That's all until that is secured, the seeding thought won't cross my mind.
Yeah, I don't believe that for 1 minute, because when you're in the seeding, you want to stay there. So you look every day where you are, and the fact that they moved up to the 2, don't tell me that he didn't know that. They all knew it. The whole staff, the front office, the players, the ball washer, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows what they're doing and what they're capable of now. Look, they got this guy, and it's so funny to me that we actually spent time talking about him smoking hookahs, drinking beer, being overweight, all this other nonsense. I mean, this guy can, someday he'll show up at the Y drunk and still score 80. I mean, he can flat out play, and they all think that he's this and he's that, and he's out of shape and all this other nonsense. And what happens when he plays? When he plays, he dominates games and tempo, and he makes everyone around him better. He's literally brilliant. He's such a brilliant basketball player that, everyone on the Lakers is now contributing because of this guy. And Anthony Davis has been in bed for a month. He played one game, and he's done again. Peanut brittle. That's what we always called him. I don't care how fat the guy is. No one can stop him. He scores at will. He passes like Magic Johnson. For Christ's sakes, the Lakers are the most dangerous team right now in the West. It's real simple. The Thunder have to worry about the Lakers and the Nuggets. And that's it.
One bit of injury news for the Lakers this weekend. Reeves left the game Friday night, right calf soreness. He did not play last night either. So Reeves, something to watch for the Lakers.
That's huge
forward.
Because, look, he's a fantastic player, and he is a huge cog in the wheel. This guy can flat out play the Hillbilly Mamba. He's no joke. He's just great. He's a great young talent, and they can't afford to not have him in that lineup in the playoffs. So I don't care about right now in early March, but if he's got calf problems in April, then they got something to worry about. I don't think it'll be a problem in April because he's young. This isn't Kevin Durant who gets his 2 months off a year every year with his calf problems because he's old. I don't want anything to do with calf pulls, calf strains, Achilles, ankles, or knees. These are things I don't like talking about, even on Coast to Coast. Bad luck. I don't want anything to do with those conversations. Move on.
Move on, indeed. The T-Wolves beat the Suns last night, 116-98. Huge night for Ant. Ant Edwards goes off for 44, getting involved on ESPN.
Ant activating, raising up, butter. Anthony Edwards in full effect.
Everybody loves the butter. Anyway, to me, if you don't have any more, like if you're not over 30 points, 40 points, you're having an off night in this new league. This is the new version of the NBA is, shooting tons of threes and then driving and dunking and getting to the foul line. So you look at guys' stat lines anymore. They're, from the floor, they're this much. From three, they're this much. From the line, they're this much. How many rebounds? How many block shots and steals? That's what they look at. If you're not in the 30s and 40s anymore, you don't even matter in this league. Honestly. It's that simple.
Ant also gets fined $35,000 for not leaving the court, and he threw that ball in the stands after his ejection last week in the Laker game. He already served the one-gamer for that as well.
That tab.
Yes, he'll find a way to come up with the $35K. We'll come back. I don't have time to play it now. I'll play it after the break, and that's Durant after the game. We talked last week about how the Suns are kind of unraveling behind the scenes.
They have unraveled.
Booker. They have unraveled. They are 4 games back of the play-in tournament. They're 4 games out of the play-in tournament.
They're finished
at this point. So we'll hear Durant's frustrations when we come back.
The only thing that matters about Kevin Durant anymore is where he's getting traded in the offseason.
Yeah.
Their season's over. The Suns are finished.
That is going to happen. He is going to get moved in the offseason.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. But I've played it well, and and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not being the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Just forget about it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Big news out of New York. Mitchell Robinson cleared for 5-on-5. OG Anunoby cleared for 5-on-5. That's big news for the Knicks as they start to get themselves healthy. It's about constructing the right roster, the combination of veterans, young guys, and transfers.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, what did KD have to say about how bad his team is? Because he's like all, along has been saying, I just want to figure this out with this team. I never wanted to get traded in season. We got a good group here. We want to figure this out. They haven't figured anything out. They've gotten worse.
They have not figured anything out at all, and you could feel some of the frustration coming out of KD after the game last night.
Dive into the film tonight and see why we lost, and look at some of the plays throughout the night on film and see how we lost, and get pissed off and go through that whole process after a game. And then tomorrow when we go through practice, we try to release it and get ready for the next game. And, it's tough, man. Game, man. We didn't play our standards up to our standards at all. We embarrassed the fans. We embarrassed ourselves the way we played, and I want us to be better.
Listen, here's what they're going to do, just so we're clear. They're going to keep Devin Booker, and they're going to trade everyone else. I mean, that whole team is getting flushed down the toilet as sure as I'm sitting here. He's getting traded. Beal has a no trade. They're still going to trade him. They're going to convince him to go somewhere. They're going to get rid of him too. He has a no trade, but he's not staying there either. That entire team, except for Booker, is gone. Literally. Because they are awful. And I won't be surprised at all. I think you said it on this show that Budenholzer is going to be next. Like, they have gone through coaches like people go through toilet paper. I mean, honestly, and he was a champion. And so was Vogel. They have all these guys. They had three of the hottest coaches in the NBA. They fired all of them, and they're going to fire him too. And the only guy that's going to be left standing is D-Book. And I'll tell you what, I think even Devin is miserable. I think he's like, what is happening here? And he knows how bad it is. Like, and he's the only one they want. Meanwhile, he probably doesn't want to be there either. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he starts crying to get out. Because all these guys now, they follow the leader, like the game. Follow the leader. They're going to follow Jimmy Lymphoma. If he can do it, I can do it. If I can, I'm just going to, Seth Jones, I'm just going to complain about how bad we suck and go public with it and see what that does for me. And what they do is these suits and these front offices, the last thing they want is the inmates running the asylum. When they start crying and complaining on television, That's all she wrote. Then they'll go right to a meeting and say, we got to get rid of this guy. He's talking bad about us on TV. National television, he's talking bad about us. That's all you have to do now to get traded. Start making fun of the front office and your coaching staff, and you're out. You're toast.
Yeah, I think it's a complete strip down to everything except Booker. Coach, other players, and Booker's going to be the guy who gets to, almost not say call the shots, but he's going to be the guy that they're going to build everything else back up around. Cavs beat the Blazers 133-129. This was in overtime. So the Cavs were coming off that win against the Celtics on Friday night. And really, Scotty, I'm not saying they were trying to punt the game, but, they rested a few guys in this game. So you thought maybe this is, including Donovan Mitchell, he did not play. But that was all right because DeAndre Hunter got more burn. 32 points. Your boy was going off. FanDuel Sportsnet.
They wait for an Allen screen. Get picked up by Reese. Find Allen. Allen back to Hunter. Hey! Knocks it down. The Blazers have no answer for DeAndre Hunter.
What's crazy is that Hunter played with Ty Jerome, who's become a baller now in the NBA. He's taken his game to a whole new level this year with this team. And they're playing together again like they did at Virginia when they won the national championship for Bennett. I mean, they were the two star players on that team in Charlottesville, and now they're becoming big-time role players on this Cavaliers team that's having such a fantastic season. It'll all be for naught if they don't do it in the playoffs. Like, you can have the greatest regular season ever, be the greatest team ever, and then if you don't do it in the postseason, no one's going to remember your great regular season. There's not, you know who that is? That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They always win all these games that are regular season games, and they're top 3 in the last 10 years in wins, with the Bills and Chiefs being 1 and 2, right? And the Steelers are 3. And then the Steelers, how many playoff games they got in the last 10 years? None. They got 1 win in 2016. That's it. Yep. I mean, they don't win when it matters. You got to win in the playoffs. The Cavaliers, if they don't win, they're going to make fun of them. Yeah. Everyone will make fun of them that they were just regular season chumps. Who cares?
Right. Well, exactly. Nobody's going to remember all this stuff. Stuff like this. They won their 10th in a row. They have 3 separate 10-plus game winning streaks this season. They're the first team to hit the 50-win mark. No one cares, as you just said, unless you win in the playoffs. Nobody's going to remember. Hey, remember when the Cavs had 3 long win streaks in the regular season? No, because they lost in the playoffs. That's how it goes.
Well, listen, the one thing that stands out to me is the fact that they were down 25 points or whatever to the Celtics in Boston, and they went and won the game. And in the middle of that game, when they were down 25, Tatum was dropping, get the F out of here, and mocking him, literally making fun of him like, you think you can beat us in our building? We're the champs. You're nothing. And then they came back and beat him in that game. That said more to me than anything about this basketball team. That they came back in that game last week and won that game is crazy.
And Mitchell, of course, had a big part of that on Friday night. 41 points against the Celtics. He's one of 2 players to average 30 points per game against Boston. The other is Michael Jordan. So Donovan Mitchell.
Always Michael Jordan. Everything's always Michael Jordan
when you get to that. It's true. So there you go with that. Celtics beat the Nuggets. They did win on Sunday. They beat Denver 110-103. Good game from Tatum and Brown as they got back after the loss on Friday night. The Joker finished off February by averaging a triple-double in the month of February. I mean,
this is why they're so dangerous. Like, they have a core 4, and with him in charge, they can beat anyone.
Is that kind of helpful when it comes to preparing for a major? Is that you're just like 1 foot in front of you at this point?
Ideally come to a place here at Bay Hill where I've had good success in the past. I've only played it the last 21, 2, 3, and 4. So, but I've played it well, and I really like that we're heading there with where I'm at right now. I think it's going to tell me a lot.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
We know the Knicks are talented. They're 37-20. It's not a bad season by any stretch. They're just not being the upper echelon team.
This is the Knicks team right now. They're a very good team. And I'm a Knicks fan. You can't look at there and say, this team can win a championship. They're not good enough. They're not good enough defensively. Are we the New York Knicks or are we the New York Fugazis? Just forget about it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Big news out of New York. Mitchell Robinson cleared for 5-on-5. OG Anunoby cleared for 5-on-5. That's big news for the Knicks as they start to get themselves healthy. It's about constructing the right roster, the combination of veterans, young guys, and transfers.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're still talking NBA from the weekend and Sunday, if you will, on C2C on a Monday.
Yeah, how about the Knicks last night? They were down 19 in Miami against the Heat, and they come all the way back, 116-112 in overtime, getting involved on MSG.
And the reset with Brunson. Three-pointer for the lead. He got it! Jalen Brunson puts the Knicks in front.
Right where he wants to be. Pressure time with the ball.
In the lane, finds Hart. Slips inside, banks it home.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that stunned me is not Brunson going off. It's that I could actually watch the game. Like, the first, for the last, three months, they had no Knicks and Rangers, Islanders, Devils, nothing on MSG because of the cable battle with Optimum and Altice or whatever. It was like a cable war, and you couldn't watch their games in New York unless they were on national TV. I couldn't believe that I actually had the Knick game on MSG, and that tonight, aren't the Islanders playing the Rangers? I can actually watch the game tonight. Like, I almost fell over. Like, you don't realize how bad it is until you're living somewhere locally and your pro teams aren't on TV. I mean, you'll start losing your mind.
It can drive you nuts, that's for sure. And I think I should also mention with the Knicks, they also had a pretty good comeback Friday night in Memphis against the Grizzlies. That was a wild
Grizzlies
game.
lost by 1, then they lost by 2 the next night.
Yeah. That was Anunoby hit the 3, right? For the Knicks in that game on Friday night.
And Mitchell came back. Mitchell ankles.
Mitchell ankles. There you go. Pacers beat the Bulls yesterday. Raptors beat the Magic by 2. Magic almost came. They were down like 12 with 2 minutes to go and almost were able to force OT. Thunder beat the Spurs 146-132, and the Pelicans beat the Jazz last night as well in a game that nobody was interested in because it's the Pelicans and the Jazz. Domantas Sabonis, bad news for him. Grade 1 hamstring strain. Kings will be without him indefinitely. Not ideal, the grade 1 hamstring strain. That's not what you want.
Bottom line is that DeRozan and LaVine have to light it up.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to now. Orlando's guard, Jalen Suggs, he's also out indefinitely. Left knee injury, having surgery to remove cartilage fragment out of that left knee. So bad news for Suggs. Finished. He won't be around. Bulls guard DeSumo will have a season-ending surgery on his left shoulder. Lots of guys going under the knife here as we get close to the end of the season. They're tapping out. Toronto waives P.J. Tucker. You get P.J. Tucker on your team for a playoff run?
Listen, honestly, he's finished, and he needs to be playing in the morning with me, honestly. He's finished.
I'll say this. I know you cause a lot of problems. He'd probably start more fights than you do in the morning run. He mixes it up a lot.
Yeah,
Tucker.
I just think he doesn't matter anymore, and he's moved around like United Van Lines, and he never sticks anywhere now. It's just it's over when you move 10 times in 2 years and you don't stick anywhere.
Never sticks. How about Quentin Grimes for the Sixers on Saturday night when they beat the Warriors? He went off for 44 points.
How many people lost money on that game?
Man, I mean, you thought that was like the smash special, right, on Saturday night?
Right.
What are the Sixers on ABC primetime, and they end up beating the Warriors because of Quentin Grimes? I mean, honestly.
100% tickets ripped.
Ripped them all up. No one had the Sixers. The Sixers also signed your boy, Jalen Hood-Schifino.
He sucks.
Deal. What was he with? He was with the Warriors, right? Who was he with? The Lakers or the Warriors?
Lakers at one time, and now he's in Philly with that crappy team. He'll fit right in.
Already bouncing around. Your boy, the Wizards and Justin Chambania finalized new 4-year deal, $10 million.
So he got in a fight on Sunday to celebrate his new money.
He did get in a fight to celebrate it. Maybe that's why they gave him the money. Maybe that's what it is. Here you go. Look at you. Let's get involved. I'll tell you about Jimmy Butler when we come back and give you the standings and tonight's games. Jimmy Butler's got problems on and off the court heading into the Warriors game in Charlotte tonight against the Hornets.
I'm surprised you don't own a piece of one of these TGL teams, Carver High.
I wish I did. I wish I did.
The Eagles got it done. If you back them, you're celebrating. Football season may be over, but the action never stops.
Are you ready for some baseball?
At SportsGrid, we're always in the game. We bring you 24/7 betting insights, expert picks, and real-time analysis. Next big play is already in motion. Are you ready? It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.